here's another thing that happened about 2 weeks ago. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch had an opportunity to speak to the press before free agency. Usually these press conferences happen at the combine, and they always talked at the combine. This year, no combine. So the NFL made some opportunities for head coaches and GMs to talk to the press anyway before free agency. A lot of head coaches and GMs said yes. The Niners uncharacteristically said no, and we have not talked to them since the end of the year. What do you think of that?
I have a lot of things to say. I just want to clarify. This was supposed to be instead of the combine.
Correct, because the combine's not happening. So,
right. Yeah. And they would in the past have talked at the combine, but they didn't take advantage of this opportunity to talk to the media. Okay. The minor, I'm going to start with the minor point.
Yes.
The minor point is it was very insulting to the media.
Yes.
They have, I would say, an opportunity and almost an obligation at certain key points of the year to talk to the media. And it's insulting to the media that they didn't do it. Now, fans, yes.
And it's insulting to the fans because the media is just there.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Fans say, the media is a pain in the neck. What do we care about the media? I got it. You don't like Iggy. You don't like me. You don't like us. Okay, I got it. But that's short-sighted. The reason we exist is to disseminate information from these important people to you, the fans. So when they don't talk to us, you don't learn things. And you're the ones who support them, who buy tickets, who buy their jerseys and all of that stuff. So it's really
a slap in the face to you as much as it is to us.
Bigger, a slap in the face to the fans.
Yes.
But Iggy, there's a much more important point. And so I would look at it, why didn't they talk?
Yes.
So you say they didn't talk because Kyle Shanahan had a sniffle that day. I don't think so. I think they didn't talk because they didn't want to talk.
Right.
Why didn't they want to talk? Well, it seems to me if you're confident about your program and where you're going, you'll answer any question from the media, especially the Bay Area media, which is extremely forgiving.
Yeah.
Generally forgiving. So it strikes me that there are certain questions they don't feel prepared to answer.
Yes.
It strikes me they're lacking confidence in their position. If they were confident and really believed in what they were doing and wanted to defend it, they would have rushed into the Zoom conference. The fact that they didn't, what are they hiding? What are they afraid of? Do you feel that way, Iggy?
Absolutely. They should be poking out their chest and saying with pride that Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback and that their plan for free agency was great and that they executed it to perfection and that this is the team they want and they're going to go back to the Super Bowl. They should be saying stuff like that. Instead, they're saying that with their actions, but they don't seem confident enough to actually back it up with their words or their presence.
I think so. So, Kyle, I imagine, is sitting there thinking, Grant's going to ask me a tough question.
Eric Branch is going to ask me a tough question. Yeah, Maddie's going to ask me a tough question.
Or, and
I can't handle it.
I can't handle it. I don't know the answer. Then they might even be a follow-up question, which would make me look worse. You know what? I'd rather hide under my bed that day.
And there's also another thing. I think Kyle has made it real clear that he's like a no-nonsense, no BS, straight shooter type of guy who tells it straight. And we know pretty much exactly how he feels about Jimmy Garoppolo. Feels he can win with him, not exactly excited about Jimmy Garoppolo. And he can't fake it. I think it hurting the Niners' cause every time he goes out there and gives a tepid, lukewarm answer about Jimmy. Jim Harbaugh would go out there and praise Alex Smith through the roof just because that's what a head coach does for his quarterback. Why would you not do that? It's your whole team that depends on that guy's confidence, and Kyle still can't do that. So I think that it's just like instead of me going out there and being like, yeah, Jimmy's our quarterback for now, and saying some half-hearted, backhanded praise, I just won't do it.
Okay, so what we're talking about now is journalism and how a coach either talks to journalists or ducks them.
Yes.
So let's use the correct verb. He ducked journalists.
Yes.
It's a cowardly move.
Yes.
It's not a move that inspires it shouldn't inspire confidence in fans during free agency. And as a former journalist, Iggy, it pisses me off.
Yes, it pisses me off too. But the bigger point from the fans' perspective is it's weak, and it's the first time the Niners have pulled such a weak move since Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have come here. Their whole thing since they got here is we're confident, we're open. Ask us, we want to tell you because we believe in what we're doing. For the first time in 5 years, they're like, all right, we don't want to talk about this. Give us some time. We need some time.
I like the word that you used, weak. And Iggy,
Weak.
It's weak.
It's a weak move.
Weak.
There's nothing strong about it. And it's not about how it makes me feel. I mean, I'm doing fine one way or another, whether I get access or not. It's about how they present themselves. It's the first time it's like, you don't really believe in your plan. It's the best you can do is what you're putting together. It's not what you want to do.
And Iggy, they present themselves as scaredy cats.
Yep. They can't handle Eric Branch, Matt Mayoko, and me. Me. I'm not you. You're not in there. I'd be scared of you too, Dad. You would come out of left field and you would have these freaking follow-up questions, and it was very alarming. I mean, I know how that feels as a 13-year-old who was on the other end of it. But me, I'm not that tough. Eric's pretty good. Matt can be pretty good, but it's not the same. They should be ready for that. It's not the same. Jesse says, what do you think the chances are of the Niners running it back? There's that term again, with Jimmy G as the starter in 2021 and drafting a quarterback of the future in the first round. Do you think the 49ers would do both? Kind of play both sides? Keep Jimmy, play for
Jimmy and draft someone. Look, I think it's likely they're going to do it, but it's another weak move.
Yeah.
I want to be real clear, and I say it every week. Jimmy Garoppolo should not be their quarterback in the upcoming season.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it any more bluntly. He's not good enough anymore. I know when he came in at first, he was very good. He was a different player then.
Yes.
And what's more, he wasn't even as good as he seemed, but he was pretty good. Forget it. That guy doesn't exist anymore. N'existapa. They should get rid of him. They need a bridge quarterback if they want, and then draft a rookie. Sure, but not him.
See, that's my issue, I guess, with the Niners offseason. I'm not that enthusiastic about it. They may end up making another run and being pretty good next year, but I think they're a little in denial. Jimmy isn't good. He's not a good quarterback when healthy. They should move on. I don't consider them Super Bowl contenders. If they had tried to get younger, sign more guys in their 20s instead of 30s and said, you know what, we're going to be contenders in 2022, I would have thought that was pretty cool. But instead they're saying, no, we're still right there. We're as good as the Rams, as good as the Seahawks, as good as the Bucks. Okay, well, you better be, because I don't see any plan for 2022. Verrett will be gone. He's a free agent. A lot of these guys will be a year older. Will Jimmy Garoppolo be here? Will they have a young guy who's ready to replace him? See what they keep pushing down the reload that needs to happen.
Iggy, I got a question for you. Jimmy.
Sure.
Is he as good as Jeff Garcia?
No, absolutely not. Dad, people don't remember Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia played on a team with like no defense and no offensive line and was one of the best players in the league. If he had been on the team with the Harbaugh defenses, the Vic Fangio defenses, or if he had been on this team with the solid defenses, they would have won the Super Bowl. He would have won the Super Bowl. He was Bill Walsh's last discovery, and he was freaking great. People don't understand how good Jeff Garcia was. No, there's no comparison. Jeff Garcia could scramble, he could move, he could do so much stuff that Jimmy couldn't do.
Right. So the point is, when you think of great 49er quarterbacks, it's always Joe and Steve. People forget about Jeff Garcia, and rightly so compared to those two guys.
Right.
But you wouldn't put Jimmy in the conversation with Jeff Garcia.
No, Jimmy's in the conversation with Colin Kaepernick. Both of them had a little stint with the Niners. Both of them had some success in the playoffs, although Colin had more. Colin won a lot of playoff games, 4 of them on the road. Both lost in the Super Bowl, some close games. I mean, Jimmy hasn't done anything that Colin didn't do on the 49ers. Colin turned the ball over less. Colin stayed healthy. Colin could run. Colin had his own limitations, but really, Jimmy wasn't any better than him.
No. So I just, people who say, Jimmy took us to a Super Bowl, I see it on Twitter all the time. It's not the same quarterback anymore. No. And again, if the Niners think that he's the one for this very talented team. In 21, they're delusional and they're going to be very embarrassed.
Yeah, talented and older. And it's like you're wasting a year of Trent Williams' prime, wasting a year of Jason Verrett's prime on Jimmy. You bring back Trent Williams, great. You should have a quarterback who can take you to the Super Bowl. I understand the Chiefs wanting Trent Williams. They lost the Super Bowl because they couldn't protect Patrick Mahomes. They could look at Trent and be like, well, he'd be the difference between us winning and losing. The Niners, okay, you got Trent Williams. Now where does that put you? The same place you because of Jimmy. So we'll see. Last question, then we'll get back to our topics. What about the notion that they didn't want to answer certain questions, exposing their hand in the coming up draft and possible trade moves?
Oh, I have a definite answer to that one. You know, they're skilled at that. They especially Lynch. You answer without answering. That's what they do.
Yes. And they've done it in the past.
I'm sorry?
They've done it in the past.
Yes, everybody does it. You answer without answering. You find a way to talk around it. And if they wanted to talk around what's going on now, they could have done that. They should have at least done that. But the idea that they didn't want to answer some questions, they should want to answer some questions.
But they can't.
Be proud to answer questions.
But they can't, because someone would ask Kyle Shanahan, Kyle, do you want Jimmy Garoppolo to be your long-term quarterback? He won't answer that because he's too honest. He'll be like, and he'll just hem and haw and go back and forth and give conditional answers. And it'll be clear that the Niners aren't that excited about Jimmy, and any trade value they're trying to create will be undermined, and they just can't put him in front of a.
And then the follow-up question is, you don't sound all that enthusiastic about Jimmy. Why haven't you gotten another quarterback? That's the question they don't want to answer. That's the question they don't want to answer.
Yeah.
It's always the second question, Iggy.
Right. You're clearly not that enthusiastic about Jimmy Garoppolo. The way you answer is always conditional. He's good for a guy who's missed time. We like some of the things that he's done. Why haven't you got another quarterback?
That's the question.
Yeah. They could have had Mitchell Trubisky, Dad. He signed a 1-year, $2.5 million deal to be Josh Allen's backup in Buffalo. Pretty cheap. And they were like, so I'd like to know, why was he not? What are you waiting for? What is the plan there? Last one. What about, oh no, that's it. Let's get back to ours.
Iggy, okay. No, hold on. Trubisky, is he as good as Jimmy?
Yes, absolutely. He moves. He actually can scramble, unlike Jimmy. Anyone who can scramble and stay healthy, I'm partial to over Jimmy.
Me too.